Hey ladies, I'm going to come to you with a quick tutorial, and I'm also going to let you know the ups and the downs of this whole process. Okay, so let's dive in. All right, now I had shown you previously of the cuff bracelet that I made. I've already gifted 2 of them out. So this right here, all the tools that I'm using here, this one, and this one is all by Impress Art, which they sell at Michael's and at Hobby Lobby. Now this is meant for stamping on metal, to getting the metal stamping, you're hammering it and you're putting in the letters. I'm not using it for that. I'm using it so that I can wire wrap. So here's the pluses and the negatives. This right here comes with this. This is the same size. These are 6 inches. This would be the perfect size cuff for my wrist because I have a 6-inch wrist, but snug. I normally get like a 6.5 size or a 7 bracelet just so that it can hang down a little bit. But 6 inches is a snug fit. Now I got these ones and I purchased these individually. These are 7 inches. They come 7-inch ones, but this is too big because this literally meets from end to end when I cuff it, and I'm going to show you that. So these ones I purchased separately. These right here are, like I said, they're 7 inches long. And I don't know, and they're in aluminum. Okay, so all the metal is aluminum, so it's pliable. It's meant for stamping, so you can't have it to be too hard. I'm just using it for a different purpose because my friend Heidi, hey girl, she's the one that let me know about using these type of cuffs. Okay, so, all right, let's see if I can do this. Now, I'm going to show you, let's put this down a little bit. Okay, this bracelet right here that I used is using the 6-inch wide cuff. Now, keep in mind on this cuff, it's got like about, and this is what causes the, okay, so it's about 1/16 of an inch thick. And it's not rounded, okay? It's just flat and then it cuts off. So that makes it very hard to wrap and makes these really loose. You see that? The whole thing can move. I don't like that. That genuinely bothers me. And not to mention, I am using a 22 gauge wire. That's artistic wire. I don't use all of the other generic ones. I prefer these only because they're non-tarnishing. So you pay a little bit more, but you know, it's up to you if you want to use the kind that's not name brand and get more. You get 6 yards to a spool. And also too, this is a 20 gauge. I'm going to show you what I did with the 20 gauge. So I went ahead and I added this on here. I'm going to take this off because I don't like this. It's stressing me out. So of course, you know, using beads, I try to do them angle straight, but I don't like how loose this is. Look at that. I like it to be snug. So this was not, this was a failure. But I wanted to show you the failures because, you know, I think it's good to show what doesn't work. So you don't waste your money on buying certain things for that reason. Now, I use the same gauge wire on this one, which is a lot skinnier. It's 7 inches. So let me show you on this one, like when I put on a 6-inch cuff. Now, this fits perfectly. And I like this size. Personally, I like this size. And but it's very difficult to wrap, and I like to wrap the ends, do my artwork with the beads, and then wrap again. I like that look on here, and I might do a little more research to see how to make that happen so it's not like that. But then I use this one right here, same gauge, 22 gauge artistic wire. This works perfect for this size. It's super skinny, it's snug. This doesn't give, it holds on tight. And I did smaller beads on this one. I did a bunch of them on here. Okay, and for this one right here, I used, I believe, 24 inches of artistic wire. So you do use a lot to do these type of wiring. So this one did turn out okay. Now let me show you on my wrist. And because it's aluminum, I can open this up so it's perfect for all size wrists. Okay, so, okay, look at how this one hangs over more. It doesn't matter to me. I don't mind it because it just hangs right here. It's not like it's halfway down my wrist. And usually when I wear bracelets, I'm wearing about 5 or 6 of them. So I do like these together. I just don't I'm not a big fan of how loose that wire is. I don't want you to see the work that I have under there. I have a cut on my finger, sorry. So that, I don't know. It's just, I'm not a fan. So anywho, those are how those look, right? Okay, so I was like, okay, well, let's try this 6-inch. Here, let's move this because it moved and it's not in the center. And I was like, well, let's go ahead and use the 20 gauge, which is thicker. So 20 gauge is thicker. The lower down you go in numbers, the thicker the gauge. The higher you go, the thinner. Okay. So I use the 20 gauge, which is what I normally use when I do wire wrapping for rings or anything else. I always use the 20 gauge. So, but here, because it's so thick right here, it doesn't, you can see, I can't even close these in because it just like springs back because it can't hold on. And I don't like that. I like these to be like this. Hold on. I like them to be close together. And these are not, they're not close together like I like them. Underneath, I don't like the way you can see that. I don't know, it just stresses me out. So up here, I was using beautiful amethyst stones. So they're all cut in different sizes because they're just natural stones. So I was thinking, oh, I love this. Look, I'll try it on. And I wanted to mix the gold, the metals. So I have silver and then I have gold. I mix my jewelry all the time. And I love this look up here. I just don't love how this is looking right here. It's not working for me. So I don't love it. Then I went ahead and did it on the skinnier one. This one I love. Using the same gauge, 20 gauge wire, it just holds on snugger because this is tinier and not so big. And it can keep the gaps closer. You see that? The gaps stay much closer. And it just looks a lot more clean underneath. Not that anybody's going to see that, okay? This is just me being ridiculous. But then I put these beautiful amethyst stones. I'm saying amethyst. These are, oh geez Louise, I forgot the name. But anyways, it's a natural stone, so it's got a little bit of weight to it because it's not acrylic or plastic, it's a real stone. And they're all like nuggets, but they hold on snug, and I absolutely love it. So, of course, this right here, you can open it up. So this back, and it's super, super pretty. I love it. And, you know, it just sucks sometimes having such a small wrist. It truly does. All right, so we have these two right here, which I would love to wear together. And then we have like these two here, right? Just gorgeous. I love arm candy. I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do this one because I'm not going to waste my wire on this because I'm already going to cut off those. So I'm going to show you using the skinnier one because this is probably one I'm going to keep using. This is not intended for wire wrapping. So just so you know, this is just me using this as an alternate for these cuffs, because these cuffs right here, the first one that I originally did was stainless steel and I had to buy it individually. And it's expensive when you do it that way. I would love to buy these, you know, in a pack and then do them. Like my first one that I did, I loved it. But you had to have the wrist size for it. It was not going to budge. If you had a big wrist, you were never going to fit it on. It doesn't open. This is aluminum, so it moves. So if I'm going to continue to use this for cuffs for anybody's size, and even if you had an 8-inch wrist, even though this is 7 inches, it doesn't matter because this right here, this gap, it stays open. It's a cuff. It's not meant to be snug together. You open it. Now, because I'm so skinny, I would have to close it all the way as much as I can so that it would stay on a little bit better for me. Okay, so these come with a plastic cover on them. And it's kind of like you got to find the little end piece right there with your nail and like lift it up and then pull it off on both sides. Now you can do the charms on these as well. The heart charms or whatever. They have a lot of charms. Like I said, this was intended for stamping. All right. And then we have this tool right here. I suggest if you do decide to do this, that you are using coupons. Okay, so you stick it in there. It has a little lip in there. You just push this all the way down. And I always hold it down like this. And then I push this hand like this all the way around. And then I take it out, do the other side. and then all the way around. Okay, and you'll see that it doesn't make it perfect like that, right? So this is how the cuff looks, because that thing doesn't go all the way around through here. So in this situation, you need this tool. Okay, and you have to, when you see this tool, you realize that this is the shape you want the bracelet going this way. Okay, so right here, you see how that goes perfectly like that? That's the way it's supposed to go. So what you do is you just go a little bit at a time. You just scoot it over a little at a time, and you just keep doing it. Okay, and then I just keep scooting it all the way through that middle part that looked really super straight. I'm trying to do this at a really odd angle, just because I want you to be able to see this part, okay? And then I'm squeezing it, and all right, now I'm already back to where it's already fine. Okay, I'm gonna come to here, and come to here, and look at this is how it crosses, because now it's fully a circle, okay? And now I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to see what parts that I'm not a fan of, if it's not super circle enough for me. And then all I'll do is I'll just come through here. Oops, that's upside down. And then I will just smash in a little bit more. And it's aluminum, so you do not have to have, I know some people may have arthritis in their hands, or, you know, their hands just are really sensitive to pressure, which is fine. This right here, it looks big and like it really requires, you know, you putting your back in it. It doesn't. So this is how it looks, okay? Perfectly a circle. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this artistic wire right here. For this 18 inches of artistic wire, for as much as wire wrapping as I'm going to do. Now, if you want to do anything that's like over the top, then you would have to guesstimate on the measurements for yourself and see what works best for you. And 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so 18 inches. And then cut that off. We're going to use this wire. This is the ruler I use. Every time somebody sees it, somebody normally always will ask me, and I normally always show. This was gifted to me. I did not purchase it. It was purchased from Amazon. I know that much. But here's the information if you want to purchase this ruler. Okay, so www.victortech.com, or you can just go on Amazon and type in Victor Easy Read Ruler, or maybe the model number. That helps. I don't know. And then this right here is super amazing because it does centimeters and inches and everything in between. Super perfect. This was the best gift, one of the best gifts I've received, and that was from my friend Elizabeth. I've loved it. I've used that bad boy like no other. All right, now. So for this right here, what I do is I take the very, jeez Louise, really? Really? Okay, so I take the very edge of this with these little pliers right here, and I'm just going to bend a little bit of it like this so that it looks like that. Okay? And I'm going to open this up a little bit, okay, because I have to be able to get the wire through there. Alright, now this is how I do it. I prefer to start on the top as opposed to putting this underneath the cuff, because I'm going to wire wrap over that part that goes this way so that this doesn't snag on your skin, your clothes, or whatever. And I'm going to wire wrap over this piece instead of putting it under. Okay, but it's totally your preference. This is where you have to decide how far up the cuff you want to go, how your pieces are going to align up here, what size they are. It's literally just like a guessing game, you know, depending on what it is that you want to do. Okay, so I tend to kind of go up about a good, for what I'm using, an 1.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to take this and I'm going to hold on, and hold on, I got to pull the wire up so that, and I'll show you right now, hold on. Okay, all right, so we have this right here. I'm gonna put this back up. The starting point, honestly, is probably the most difficult to get this down. And then after that, the wire wrapping is super smooth going forward. Okay, because you got to get it flat going up. You could get your little pliers like this if it's sticking up, just to press it down. Okay, and then we're going to wrap. I'm going to wrap 4 times. So let's see, we have 1, oops, and it'll move. And we go 2. And I'm going to show you when I'm done. So right now it's kind of hard to show you as I'm wrapping. 3, 4. Okay. So see, this is how it looks so far. And I'm going to fix it right now to show you. Going to squeeze this in. Okay. And I'm going to push this down a little bit. And it's kind of like you got to squeeze it in as best as you can. Just so that, see that? Just so that it is a little snug. And do know that this is aluminum and it will scratch. So if you're real picky about not wanting to see the scratches, then don't use these because it does. It like if I use this right here on the end to put a hole and then hang a charm on it, you're gonna see those scratches on it. So you just have to keep that in mind. There's no way to avoid that, like, at all. Right now what I did is there was a little piece that was sticking out of here, and I just grabbed my plier and I just snipped it off with these flush cutters. These ones you can get at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or online, whichever or. Alright, so let's say we're going to go ahead and use these right here, okay? These are just glass beads. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to string it. Alright. Alright, and okay. Okay. Oops. The first one is where you got to make sure it's as even as you possibly can get it. And then so we have it this way. And you're going to see they're all going to go in. It's not going to be, if you notice right here, you see how it's longer here and it's shorter here. Gosh, you know what? I am so tired of how dry my hands get. It's so crazy. I put lotion on every time before I come on this camera. Okay, so anyways, it's not going to be even, or else this right here, it's just not going to roll underneath here smooth and flush. So let's see if I can. Oh, you're not going to see on these ones because these ones are flatter. And this one right here, let me see. Yeah, so you'll see on this one as well. It's longer up here, but it's shorter down here. It's not going to be super even because as you're pulling and tugging on the wire, it's flattening one side as it's going over the other. It really depends on the shape of the bead, is depending on how flush it's going to be. So like it's all even on this side, but then it's all even on this side, but differently. They're just not the same, if you can see that up close. So just so you know, do not be alarmed by that. And we're going to put string on another one. Okay, and then there we go, is that one, with that one, right? And then you just pull it up again and see how it's looking so far. All right, then we're going to grab another bead. And then just kind of look and make sure you're aligning it before you completely wrap it all the way over. And then we're going to get another, and we're just going to keep doing this, stringing on a bead. So you can use flat beads, circle beads, beads that are not perfect in shape. It doesn't matter. It's just going to have its own unique look to it. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. But you do need to take in consideration, which I probably didn't on this one, is that the bigger the size of the bead, the more wire it's going to take to wrap. So you would need to make, instead of 18 inches, 24 inches, depending on how big the beads are. Okay. All right, so let's stop. And this right here, I will go ahead and fix and line those up, even though it doesn't matter. They're not, it's not like they're bad, but because I'm me, I'm going to end up doing that. All right, and then get this. And you just want to like push the bead so that it stays on the cuff and then wrap all the way around. Okay, so you see how it's coming so far? I'm probably going to put like maybe 2 more. And I don't think, oh, I'm going to be really bummed if I didn't guesstimate on the length of wire that I was going to need. Alright. And then we're going to do this one right here. And I'm always holding my work. If you notice, like as I'm turning, I'm always holding the bead so that they stay in place. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap wire 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Okay, so that's how that looks at this point, right? So we take these right here. Just don't use the one with the ridges. These ones are very smooth, or if you have the kind that are like that has the silicone thing at the, on those, like kind of like these right here, then use those. But I don't know where mine are, and I don't feel like digging for them. Okay. Alright, and then I'm going to squeeze these together. And then this is the tricky part as well, because you got to close it off. So this is where I'm going to guesstimate, okay? I need to tuck the piece underneath the coils I just did. So I'm can I do it that way? Yeah. Alright, so I'm probably going to cut off about that much. No, a little bit closer. I don't want it to go past. Alright, so we're just going to cut it off. It's guesstimating. It's not a science that I know. And then, so this part that hangs over, we're going to pull it out a little bit. And we're going to turn it in, just like the way we did it the first time. So you see that? I'm turning it this way. Now, I got to take this, and I'm going to push it under because the coils are not super tight. So I'm using this tool right here to grab it and push it underneath. Okay, so you see that? And then I'm going to grab everything and I'm going to close it all together. Okay. Oops. Then we're going to close the side. I have to do this looking at the side of the camera because looking through the camera to try to do this is not going to work. Okay, so let's get this camera focused first. Okay, so you see how that is? Alright, now underneath, that's actually not bad at all. So this one right here is going to bother me a little bit, so I just want to make it a little even. My thing is with this is just making sure that these gaps that I have are all equal as far as how the distance between each wire. That's kind of what I prefer. Okay, so it just looks cleaner on the bottom. Okay, and these are all just with the pink, these are just pink round glass beads. And then you'll see with this one, I used the chunky ones. That every bead is a different shape, and I love that. I love the uniqueness of that. And then here's super small ones. So these right here are probably about a 5mm. These probably here are about a 3mm bead. But you have to try it and see what it is that you like, what works best for you. So I hope that my tips were helpful, and keep in mind these are not intended, these cuffs are not intended for the wire wrapping. This was just an idea that was given to me, like I said, by a friend of mine, and this works best for me, using these skinnier ones as opposed to these big ones, even though I really would love to find a way to make the big ones work, because I love the bigger cuffs. So here we go. I hope that this tutorial was understandable, that I made sense, and that I was able to help out in your decision making to try this out. So thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I will be back. You guys have an amazing and blessed remaining of your Sunday, and happy Easter again. Bye.